What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Common Sense, the podcast. Glad to have you all with us. Today, we got a very special guest, Nathan Melnick. What's going on, man?
Not much, sir. Appreciate the invite. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you for stepping up to the call, man. This has been a crazy week.
Yes, it has.
Biz left me hanging. We got Brandon back there on the board. So if y'all wonder why you don't hear Biz chiming in back there, it's because we got Mr. Brandon Frakes back there. So, man, how's things been going?
Very good, man. It's been a crazy season and a crazy year already, and life, and the coincidental tie-in that you and I have together is pretty old school, and it's the AC business and the rental business as a whole. And my background is just I've crossed so many paths, and for us to work together, 12 years ago, whatever, 8, 10, whatever it is, just aging each of us, obviously, but no, it's good, man. I'm in a good place. I'm in a good headspace.
That's awesome, man. It's funny how that works. You're in one of those businesses, like, when you need it, you are searching high and low because you've got a major system down and you need somebody that can deliver right then. And it don't matter what time of night it is, because a unit's boiler goes down on a property or major system, and it's like, holy shit, it's coming. And it could be 2:00 in the morning.
No, I mean, yesterday's a prime example. I got a call at 5:30 for a college here in town that needed a 350-ton chiller for their dorm rooms. It's hot, it's humid, it's disgusting. I need it. And then I get another call from my buddy that's in Roatan or some shit overseas on a cruise ship. He's like, hey, my hospital's down. I need a chiller. I'm like, dude, I only have so much power and so much and I got a huge job up in Dent right now. And anyways, long story short, so much manpower and so much bandwidth of personalities that you're like, hey dude, can you work 30 hours today, whatever. And when the hospital came up in 5 hours, we had them from 5:30, we were up and running by 10:30. Phenomenal. Overly impressed with my team. My other job, 5 a.m. this morning, they finally got done at the college. Ran by that today. I mean, just, it's a crazy business, and it's very cyclical, as we said, very seasonal. But it was 100 degrees yesterday, and all shit just went amok, and phones ringing, and it's me, and I'm the only customer, and I need it now, but it's fun, it's challenging, and I started the business 15 years ago for a company called Texas Air Systems, and just to see the growth and the explosion that we've done in the last, again, 15 years is mind-blowing and phenomenal. And I've been able to bring a lot of key players from the other markets to our team. My buddies kind of work with me also that I've grown up with, or they work in other sectors of our business with Texas Air Parts and Texas Air Service and things like that. So it's been a good ride, man. I'm very blessed to be 48 and be where I'm at. I have 2 great kids and a great girlfriend and a pretty good life, great parents, and yeah, very, very lucky.
Yeah, right on, man. It's awesome. I love hearing stories like that, man, because it's, especially for people looking to start out and, they're trying to find their way in whatever business it is. There's so many learning curves and roadblocks and pitfalls and the discipline and the, everything that it takes to get there. And then, to get someone like you that has been there and done that and, kind of forged your own way. That's really cool, man. It's great to share that with people, because then they can kind of see how it's done, and maybe they get a time collapse a little bit, or maybe they don't have to make some of the same mistakes.
Right. And, and I'll never forget him. My son, Dylan, my son's baseball coach, said, gotta want it. It's a gotta want it attitude. And he was 6 years old. And here's all these T-ball kids that don't give a shit about anything but, the grass and picking their nose and whatever else. And it's like, these kids need to find their gotta want attitude. And that stuck with me over the last almost 12 years now. And I look at my customers, I look at who works with me, who works for me, who wants to be a partner with me and team up. It's like, what's our one motivation? It's to be successful and to help the customer. And that all spurs everything else that grows with that also. And, and I started out selling nuts and bolts and tools. I started in the radio business, which is a cutthroat business. I mean, those sales guys will screw their own mother over for a nickel. I mean, it's pretty disgusting. And I figured out that wasn't my calling and whatever. And as I've grown and as I've matured and brought the right people on, you are who you run with, right? You are your circle, who your circle is. And I've come to figure out that through all of this, the one thing I've learned is be humble, be appreciative, be positive, because tomorrow you don't know what happens. My buddy's kid was one of those friends that just got stabbed at the track meet.
Yeah.
Frisco track meet. There's a 17-year-old kid that didn't realize his life was going to be over 4 hours after he got to the track meet.
Yep.
That can be any of us, right?
Yeah.
Shit can happen like that. And it's just appreciate what you have. Be thankful. Don't look to give horse in the mouth. You know, all the sayings that you've heard your parents have said or whatever. And, you know, and just bring your kids up and bringing your friends around and including them and being thoughtful, being gracious, being courteous. I think that's all keys of life and business as a whole.
Yeah, and it's good when it comes together like that too. I mean, you also run into a lot of instances where sometimes tough decisions have to be made, and you know, it can't be, you know, cutting a friend or a family member, man, and like realizing like you have to make some of those decisions. They can be some of the toughest and most rewarding decisions you ever make.
Right, and family's family, and no one's perfect, you know, and be grateful for where you're at, and there's someone worse off than you, right? And I mean, there's a situation with some family members of some friends of mine right now that, you know, they chose a path, and they've been kind of blackballed, and it is what it is, and they'll figure out their path. We'll get on our path, and eventually we'll come back to a circle or to a point, and if not, then move on, and life's too short, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think overall, and I think your show brings it, you know, full circle of there's so many gamuts of life that you just have to look back and go, if it stumbles and you stumble into something, that's great. If not, go find another path, go find another opportunity. And there's too much out there, you know? And
Yeah. If you stay diligent, man, and you truly are you, and you put that forward and you put the best you out there, you don't have to have it all figured out. You know, I have so many kids that reach out or young adults that say different things or ask questions, and it's always humbling when they do, but it's, you know, I can remember that being that kid. And I mean, even hell, there's times even today that like,
right.
Man, am I doing what I really need to be doing? Am I really on the right track, or do I need to get this back in check? And it's like, when you can focus that back down and get that, you know, start with you. You know, like you don't have to have it all figured out.
You can only control yourself. Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You don't have to have, you know, your passions and your purpose and everything figured out and aligned. Like sometimes you just have to keep going along and doing things to come to that point.
Right. No, I agree. And you know, mentoring and being mentored is huge. And I've had some great people in my life. I've been very lucky with ex-bosses. Or my boss now, who's like a friend of mine. He's a father. He's my confidant and has known me for 20 years in the business. And I lean on him for a lot, you know. And we talk about his shitty Eagles, and I talk about my shitty Patriots. And, you know, it's a cause for communication and bondage and friends and friendship, right? So.
Is that where you grew up? Is up north?
Well, I was born in Boston.
Okay.
After the Blizzard of 78, my parents said F this, and they left. I've been in Dallas. I grew up in Carrollton. I went to Smith, and then I went to Turner. Then I went to SFA for a while and tried that.
What years were you at Smith?
91 to 93.
Okay, so we would have, even if I did choose Smith over the Colony, we would have just missed each other.
What year did you graduate?
98.
You know Brian Newell?
Yeah.
So Brian Newell's a good friend of mine. That's
okay. I don't know him well, but I mean, I went to school with him. I know who he is.
Him and his brother, yeah. So I mean, I
ended up being crossed with a lot of the Carrollton kids because I was on that border where it was like Colony or Newman. Which one do you want to go to? Yeah. And you know, I chose the Colony. So.
Which shit show do you want to go to?
Yeah. Which of the lesser evils do you want?
Right. You want to keep up with the Jones, or you want to be the Jones?
Yeah.
Or whatever,
and then, you know, by the time my little brother started his freshman year, or actually I think it was his I think it would have been his senior year, Hebron opened up. So then all those kids could either stay where they were, or they could be the first graduated class from Hebron.
Well, yeah, and I had a bunch of friends, Taylor Morgan and some other guys that went there, and then what's his name that played baseball for the Rangers? T. Garden.
Oh, yeah.
So his mom was my counselor at Turner, which is a small world. Like, just ways that pass cross. It's crazy, but it's been a good ride. I lived in Houston for 5 years and worked for Fastenal. Then I worked my way back to Dallas, and my son's about to be 18, so I've been here 17 years almost. And my kids go to Reedy High School, and like I said, Dylan's about to graduate and go to Blinn and go to A&M after 2 or 3 years. And I said, go fuck off and do 46 years, and thankfully I can afford your stupidity. So go enjoy yourself and make smart choices. And then my daughter's a sophomore, about to be a junior. So again, you know, it's cool having the connections and the networking and the people in your life that you can go, hey, Garrett, what's up, dude? Like,
Yeah.
let's do something cool. And, you know, doing the comedy like I was at Dallas Comedy Club, again, getting outside that box and getting outside your comfort zone. And I think everybody should do it, you know, and just it differentiates yourself from a lot of other people and other crowds, just to say, hey, he's got the gall and the balls to do something. Why don't I do it? You know, and what's funny is my buddy Jeff Idlet was the one that said, hey, you see this comedy club thing? And I signed up in 5 seconds. He's like, you can do it? I go, already done, dude. It was an 8-week training class. It was badass. And I got out of my shell and did my stand-up and talked about me and my lower bowel movement issues and shit myself. And I got a whole 30-minute comedy skit about that and why I wear 3 t-shirts and all this other stuff. But again, it was just finding commonality and an opportunity to be different, you know, and that's what I think we get away from.
That's awesome, man. Because I saw your post when you were talking about, you know, getting over public speaking fear. And I mean, someone with your background that's really pushing the needle forward and, you know, doing sales and wearing a lot of different hats in the business, it's almost the same as me. I can relate to it in the sense that, you know, I had been with Element for, at the time that this happened, I want to say it had been like 15 years. I had just made partner and I went and bombed an event, you know, speaking in front of colleagues and peers, and I bombed it. I had 2 minutes to stand at a podium and give the company spiel, and a whole bunch of factors weighed in and played out, and
oops,
comedy was my plan. I was going to tell a joke, but then on the way to the stage and seeing everybody's fancy videos and everything else, I was like, this is a terrible idea. And then I broke down and I totally bombed it. And I went and signed up for speaking again, event at Eagle Rise Summit that my buddy Jason Redmond runs. And that's what forced me to do it. You know, I very specifically hunted down something. I didn't want to just, you know, in my earlier years when I was in the corporate world, I did the Toastmasters and things like that, but that doesn't really completely prepare you for like public speaking. So you said, and I really wanted to dive into this with you. So you said your buddy just kind of threw out this comedy thing. What gave you the like instant, like, I'm going to do this and push myself because I'm not comfortable with that? Well, are you like that with everything, or is that just like one of those
I'm very
things?
Spontaneous. It's my ADHD. Hence why I'm divorced kind of scenario of bad choices and,
yeah,
you know, and, you know, too much partying and too much socializing and whatever else. And, I mean, I used to stutter really bad when I was a kid. So bad, my sister used to have to say my name to get on the bus. That's how bad my elementary school stuff was. And I've come through that and I've realized just take a deep breath, you know, whatever. And I still, you know, I'll do that once in a while and go, all right, just chill, you know, and it's hypertension, it's anxiety, it's whatever. But when Jeff sent that to me, I was just like, I kind of thought about it and I'm like, I need a push. And that was my push.
Yeah.
And it was easy to do. And I'm very quick witty. I'm not as I came to find out, like I was telling you, I did a roast. I'm not that smart. Like that's a whole nother level of creativity and quickness. I'm good at, I can write down, you know, questions and statements and quotes and say stuff and do stuff or whatever. And that's kind of where I'm like, that's my niche. And I love to be that guy, funny in the circle. I'm black and white. There's no gray with me. And I'll say something inappropriate. I'm like I have a buddy that has a lazy eye terribly. And he's telling me how he had a bad car wreck. I go, and your eyes didn't straighten out, dude. Who knew? You know, I'm like, you fall in a well, you get kicked, you know.
Yeah.
You fall in a well, your eyes go across, you get kicked by a donkey, and your eyes go straight. Who knew, right? From, you know, Christmas vacation. And I'm like, Aaron, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, your eyes didn't go straight. It's like, fuck you. I'm like, it's just funny, dude. I'm not trying to be a dick, you know?
Yeah.
And, it's just, you know, stuff like that. And I don't know. Life's too short, man. And I've been very lucky. I've been very blessed. I'm, you know, where I'm at and the freedoms that I've had and the trips I do and the exposure I've seen of Super Bowls to baseball games to hockey. I was just at the Stars game 2 nights ago. Seen some cool shit. And I hope everyone can have the opportunities and the gall to do and say and be them and not be somebody else that they're not. And that's the biggest point why I want to come on here is to say, you know, my kids and everyone else's kids are going through shit every day, you know, with social media and
Yeah, you're instantly on blast nowadays. There's like you get in a fight, it's worldwide instantly.
I mean,
you can't fuck up and not that moment go away.
Never.
I mean, it's on the internet now permanently, man.
Forever.
That's a lot. That's a big problem.
And I hate to say it, but I mean, the whole Austin thing, you know, really showed me the disgustingness of social media and of people and of the racism and the prejudice and I mean, it's black and white, literally and figuratively, right? And I'm not here to go down that fucking dark hole of shit.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, Austin was a great kid. I know his brother was with us on spring break. Good family, whatever. Shit happens. People talk shit. Kids are kids, right? We're all Eddie Haskells, as I always say it, right? But no one deserves what the end result was. And I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's disgusting. I told both my kids, just think before you speak. Your dad's worse about it than anybody, but it's crazy how so much influence comes from the negativity of the environment that we're in. And Frisco's the white flight of the North and Prosper and Salina, and, you know, and it's all competition. It's all the keeping up with the Joneses between the cars and the phones and the clothes and everything. And it's sad, you know, and you hate to be that guy and go, I wish it was like when I was a kid, but it was simpler. It was more fun.
You could just have a fight. Like get it over with.
You just
have a fight. You might get your ass kicked, but you know,
broken leg, broken nose. Whatever.
Yeah, something. But no one's dying.
It heals, you know.
Yeah.
And your pride might be in the shitter or whatever, but that's you know. But now it's therapy. Now it's this. Now it's these drugs. You know, and it's like, dude, and you know, I'm on point with not only my kids but my friends' kids and everyone else is kind of going, how do we navigate this ship sandwich that a lot of us got handed or started or given or whatever. And yeah, it's crazy, you know, and just overall, I mean, it's cool to see success through people's drive, motivation, you know, and again, in the AC business, Texas Air Systems, who I started the company for, the rental company, is huge. They're a national brand. They know we have huge parties and there's all these things, but the bottom line is, what do we do for the customer? What do we do for the society, for the special, you know, donations or whatever? And it's about giving back. It's not about you. It's about everyone else. And I think a lot of people forget about that sometimes. And it's just how much, you know, the No Fear shirt. Whoever has the most toys wins. Remember that shit? Yeah, I had that shirt.
Dude, it's so funny you said that. Like literally, an old baseball buddy from high school that I played with, we were joking. I tease him all the time because he just got back in the gym. And when he shows up, man, he's always rocking the bandana and stuff. And he's Hispanic. And I was like telling him, like, you got to go full cholo. If you're going to wear that stupid bandana, man, like jack them socks up to your knees. Right. I want to see the full effect, man. Like, Don't mess around. And he was like, bro, I mean, are you going to wear your like old No Fear tank top that you wore to practice all the time? And I was like, if I had one, I would. And I was like, you know what? I bet I can find one of those online. So I literally got online, ordered me the old classic black one. Oh, yeah. It came in last week. And literally yesterday, I wore it to the gym and sent him a picture in the morning when I was at the gym. He's like, you are off your chain, man. Like, you really went and bought one of those?
Which saying was it?
It was just the one with the logo on the front that said No Fear.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, like, we had what was the other one? We had...
There's a couple of them.
There was so many like that back then. I mean, some of those you can't do today. It's sad. Like, you know, what was the one with the Big Dick Johnson or whatever, the Woody shirts or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, just that whole line of
I
shit.
can't even remember what those were, but, like, it's crazy.
Well, it's like Blazing Saddles, right? You can't... Never again, right? Or any other racist fucking just straight up shit show, you know.
But yet it's like you can in some areas, but you can't in others. Like Django, like
right.
All right, that's okay. And it's like when it's one way, that's where I get pissed off when people want to make it an issue, or it's funny one way but not the other. You know, like all the bullshit about the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like, you know, like everybody just like if you didn't understand it or it wasn't your cup of tea, you made a bunch of big statements about it and you had to like go out on social media and broadcast about it. And instead of just saying like, okay, that wasn't my cup of tea, but like, it was a great performance. It was cool. It like, you know, whatever, like
It's always so,
it has to be, you're either on this side or that side, you know, like, oh my God, Serena Williams crip walked. Well, she was kind of, I mean, like, did you know the whole story? Like, I mean, like, because at first, like, me and Biz had a whole, like, segment on this a few weeks ago where we talked about this because, you know, I wanted his perspective on it. And it was like, okay, well, this was my initial reaction, or this is what I thought. Like, what'd you think? Like, why is this such a thing, man? Like, I don't understand. I mean, like, do you not think the black community was, like, really into, like, the Creed halftime performance where you had half naked dudes flying around like angels or whatever on trapeze and ribbons and shit all over? I bet that wasn't their thing. Right. Or like some of these where you have like, you know, kids are all watching
Circus Olay or whatever.
It's like, it's wild to me, man. What kind of family did you grow up in, man? I mean, you have a bunch of brothers, sisters, or your only child?
Younger sister, 3 years younger, and it's funny as I've talked about it more and more with my girlfriend and friends and whatever. And my memory sucks from I had COVID back in 20 and 21, and my memory is just a shit show. It sucks.
Yeah.
My taste buds are all jacked up, but anyways, back to I mean, I had a rough childhood, being Jewish and going through a lot of those trials and tribulations, a lot of racism, a lot of just shit stuff. Hence why I changed high schools. There was a couple kids who, to this day, if I thought someone get hit by a bus, it'd be like cool, like up there throwing the bone out there. So I went through some shit. That's why I went to Turner my last 2 years, which was great. Met my real friends and really got moving. But my dad worked his ass off. He was a CEO of or CFO or accounting controller of a couple of different companies. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom, so she was there. And my sister was basketball and volleyball, and I just kind of floated and lived with my friends my junior and senior year of high school, basically, and partied and worked. And I was working at a baseball card shop for a while, and I've had 60-something jobs, man. I've done it all, from Subway to TCBY to Foot Locker to baseball. I mean, I've done it all. I'm very, very lucky there. But
a lot of different experiences, man, and like
a lot of different
find your path and like what sales. It was that
it was sales, as it turns out, right?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, then I got into radio business and got to see Jordan's last year, which was kind of cool when he come to AAC. And so anyways, I was, I mean, pretty crazy, but not too bad. I mean, I was very lucky, and, you know, I don't know if I was depressed or I went through all these other issues and stuff like kids are today. You know, we didn't have those discussions nor topics, I guess, really brought up like they are with social media and all that other shit today, right? But no, it was a good life, and my parents got by. I had a '78 Dodge Aspen station wagon. That was my pimp mobile, and my dad thought I could throw a mattress in the back and get laid all the time. And I'm like, my son's a tool, Dad. That ain't flying, you know. And I was a crash test dummy with cars and terrible driver, and still to this day, terrible. But you know, I make it do, and my kids are pretty calm and chill, and my daughter's just like me, and my son's like my ex-wife, and it's crazy how that whole gene pool flows out and rolls downhill, you know. And my parents and my sister live in Georgetown, a street over from each other. It's like the Barones, basically. And they do their thing, and I can see them every once in a while, but just pretty. I mean, I'm a pretty chill guy, dude. I just either hang out with a girlfriend, and I do a lot of sporting events, Rangers and Stars games and stuff, and Mavs, and work too much, and I love what I do. I love the company. HVAC Rental is a great company, and it's a great legacy that I've been able to start for everybody to blow up and go. And it's gone from an I to a we to an S, as I always tell people. And if and when I do pass away or die, it'll be like, hey, dude, this was the guy that thought of the idea, and it was a fun experiment that we tried. And now it's grown exponentially, and because of my boss, Steve, and other people. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, take us through that experience. Like, take us back to when you decided to start the business and like how that came about. Because I think that's a pretty cool story for you to share with everybody, and kind of how that went, how it started out, and like kind of, you know, how it evolved.
Well, no, I mean, I think it started out in college as bartending and being a goof off and, and slinging drinks and making money and cash and living that lifestyle like I was. And then, Fastenal was one that came after that I went after, and I worked for them for about 3 years off and on. I worked for them for 3 years in Houston, and just happened to quit my job and go work for another company and make cold calls up in Humble, and called in this company called New Temp. And it was a small rental company of chillers and like the ice rink in Frisco and the ice rink in Grapevine.
Yeah.
That's all my stuff out there. And that's now. And then we got bought out by Carrier. I thought that was the biggest, positive that could happen. That was the biggest shit show ever. And through my contractual agreement, I said, move me up to Dallas. Let me open a business here. So I opened an office for them here. And then a company called Texas Air Systems found me and said, hey, here's a hope and a prayer. You want to start this business for us? And I was like, eh. And I blew them off for about 6 months. And I was like, I'm making decent money. I don't do much. I just chill. And there she wrote. And I started the business. And that first year we did, a couple $100,000 for fun and one employee. And then myself and Jerry Scott, another guy. And then it just grew and grew and grew. And now we're 12 offices nationwide. We're part of Texas Air Systems, which is part of a Marathon company. So we have 12 offices nationwide of manufacturer reps. Then HVAC Rental has its own companies also, own offices. So, we're a multi-billion-dollar business now and growing and acquiring other businesses to be that powerhouse. And
how did the opportunity come about though? And where was your leap of faith to all right, I think I can do this, and I'm gonna go down this road?
Funny, dude, you say that. So I used to go to breakfast with my dad every Saturday at Cindy's over off Midway in Keller Springs, right? Back in the day. Mm-hmm. Every Saturday, my dad, my uncle, and some of his friends would always go, and we'd sit around and, just talk shit and whatever. And when I was going to quit Carrier, my uncle said, oh, man, I don't know. This is kind of risky. And I had one kid at the time, and I said, you know what? I got nothing to lose. I go, let me just go figure it out. And I don't know, that wasn't my personality, but I knew that I was good at sales. I was good at relationships, but not to the level that I figured out I was until after I got to Texas Air. And that business is built on relationships and partnerships. Everybody's a friend. Everyone's a family member. And then business comes third hand or fourth hand. And that's kind of where I really grew into, I think, the success that we are as today. And we, or us, however you want to phrase it, doesn't matter. But it was a hope and a prayer. It really was. And I mean, again, that first year I barely did anything. And then it grew 30, 35, 40% every year. And now it's been 15, it was 15 years in February that I've been here. And just to see, again, my friends that come about and have grown with us and other opportunities that have been found. And what's cool about the rental business is it's a one-stop shop for anything and everything. And I've sold everything. I've sold porta potties. I put my face on the urinal cakes. You saw that on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I put and everyone, so we do a big Texas Live every year, March Madness / Texas Live deal. And I was like, hey boss, let's put my face. Everyone's asking for my face on a urinal cake. How many times I heard, hey man, I pissed on your face all night. But guess what? No other rental guys got that said to him or remembered. And I have that all over LinkedIn. I got all over, it's about being different. It's about exposing yourself and being open and just letting the walls down. And I mean, I'm all about making fun of myself, making fun of others. There's nothing negative about it. There's nothing malicious about it. I'm not trying to be a dick, and my son's about to come work for us in the next month or so. He's excited about the opportunity before he goes to school, just to be around it. And he's been pushing spot coolers and pointing at boilers and chillers since he was in a car seat. Boiler, chiller, and that's memories, right? Good, bad, and ugly. That's the little things in life. And I was listening to the ticket today, and I was when I worked for ESPN Radio. This is a funny story. I worked for I was on Ticket when Mark Cuban, when they did that Dairy Queen. Remember when?
Oh yeah,
Arnold and Mark Cuban. So I was working. So ESPN goes, hey, go down there and go fuck with them and and whatever. So I went down there in the little ESPN bus, and I went down there, and I'll never forget the Ticket guys giving me shit. They're like, hey, does Newey Scruggs eat all the time? And is he is he that fat? And can you see his wiener? And but that was exposure that my friends were like, dude, I heard you on the radio. And again, exposure.
Yeah.
I got to meet Cuban and Tom Arnold, and it's those life experiences. I've been to the Super Bowl because of Texas Air and because of my friends. I was at the best game ever on the Patriots Falcons game, right? Cool shit, man. Cool shit
Yeah.
that not a lot of people can say they've done. And I I really, as I look back, it's the wow, and cherish what you have, because again, like that can go. And talking to my girlfriend about both of our parents, all of our parents are healthy and living, and 75 to 70 whatever, and not a lot of people have that luxury and that luck. And I see it on Facebook. Oh, I wish my mom was here for Mother's Day, or Father's Day. And
Yeah.
hey, Dad, love you. Hey, Mom, and it's just, again, I mean, I guess this whole thing, is about appreciate what you have, be grateful for what you have, and don't the dog in the bone theory. I talk about that a lot. That old cartoon when we were kids with the dog,
Yeah.
the bone. He looks at the water and sees a bigger bone, so he drops his bone and goes, "No, he doesn't have shit." Right? I mean, that's to a T. Right? It's like, go, what money you have, use it wisely. You can't spend it 6 feet down, so spend it 6 feet up. And my kids don't. I don't want my kids to have a dime when I walk out of here. I told my parents, burn every dime you have. I don't want your shit. Go enjoy your life. I think, and those that have it, great. If you don't, figure out how to get it. If you can't, then
Keep working.
keep working.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the economy and the shit going on right now and everything, I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah.
And, again, that's metal, but you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, I feel bad for a lot of people that have the struggles in the food and whatever. What tomorrow brings, who knows?
What were maybe some of the challenges though? What were some things you struggled with as you're like starting this business out and really growing it? Like, cause I mean, obviously there are things like sales and marketing and networking came natural to you.
Right.
What was the harder part? Was it managing people? Was it training and recruiting people? Like what did you actually struggle with at first that maybe it's a strong point now? Cause I think
Balance.
a lot of people also find out that when you accept what a weakness is or something you struggle with, and then you work to get better at it or master that, it might end up actually being your superpower.
So it was, how was I going to grow this business? And I got great players around me, great friends, great partners. I'm not going to name any names, but I got really good people that have helped me grow this, and I thank them every day. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here without you, because I'm not that guy. I'm not the operations guy. I'm not organized. I'm an ADHD. I love to sell. I was telling one, Bernie Blackman, who holds HVAC Rental together right now for us, I feel like, in a sense, I was like, this isn't my role. I don't want to go babysit the back of the house. I'm the front of the house guy.
Yeah.
Let me go bang the streets and find the opportunities and whatever. I need people putting orders in. I need putting, quotes together, but whatever. So I think I've always been a good business minded person to bring the resources in to take care of the stuff that I don't want to deal with. And now I got 3 or 4 people on my inside team. I got a project manager. I got this and that and whatever. And because of the business, because of the growth of myself and others, we've been able to bring other tools in to help accommodate that stuff, where I don't have to do all that shit. Dude, I used to do the freight. I used to pay the vendors. I used to organize the vendors, get the POs. I got people for all that stuff now. So I can go fuck off and hang out with my kids, or go do things and go take customers out and go to lunch and
Yeah.
not micromanage the small
But I
stuff.
think you still kind of see that in you, because you kind of talked about growing up where you were bullied really bad. You had a terrible stutter and everything. Like, that wouldn't lend you to think that you would be a very outgoing, well-spoken, charismatic sales guy that builds relationships and stuff. It would probably lend you to shy away from a lot of that more. But you've always pushed that. And I think, recognizing something like that and then deciding and making those decisions at different points in your life to push yourself and get past those things and put yourself in the different situations and environments, that's key. Because I'll never forget this. I had a great friend of ours on here, Luciano, man. Like, he is one of my favorite people in the entire world to have a conversation with. Like, not only does he make amazing cigars, and y'all all know how I feel about his cigars, he is truly one of those very unique individuals that, man, I don't care what Luciano is talking about, you will instantly be tuned in and you're like, oh man, I want to know more about that. But he said to me one time on here, I think he said it on the show actually, he was like, find out what your biggest weakness is and go towards that work on that, grind that, become the master, whatever it is. Because if you're not sure what your strong suit is, once you master that, you're probably going to find out that that is your strong suit. Like, because that's what you're going to be driven towards. You're going to push harder at that than anything else because it's a flaw or it's something you struggle with because you want to overcome that.
I agree with that. And I've tried, dude, you know, and it's like A for effort, you know, that saying. It's like, no, you know what? Let me just bring the partners in and the tools in to handle my weaknesses, which is paperwork and organization and whatever else.
Yeah.
You know, but I agree to disagree with that. And I mean, you know, like you said, the shell that I came out of was driven by, as my mom used to put it, I want. I like nice shit. I have nice stuff. Be humble, be courteous, be cautious of what's around you. Because people do take advantage of situations, and I found that out time and time again. But I like nice shit. So that's where I drove myself to go, hey, let me go get that job that makes $1 million. Let me go make that job that makes $1, you know, or 10 million. Whatever the X, Y, or Z is, it doesn't matter. Right. And to have the persona of he cares, he wants to be that guy and not be on that pedestal. You don't have to be on that pedestal. You can be down here and still be up here. And I figured that out too. It's like, just help those that need to be helped and they'll shine. And I want everyone to have the success and the failures and the freedoms and the tie downs that I have, because I think I've learned and grown exponentially because of those. And I've never been this open. I've never been this black and white with my feelings and my heart, because of, I mean, through my marriage, it was a shit show, and I was closed up, but it's all kids, right? It's all kid driven. The partnerships and I'm watching this new show, Neighbors, and with I just texted my buddies about it. Neighbors and what's it called? Hold on, sorry. Friends and Neighbors.
Not familiar with it. Yeah.
It's got gosh, I can't think of his name right now. But anyways, It's Really My Life, which is kind of crazy. And it's really play up, and just seeing all the different variables that are coming at him, and with his kids and with his ex-wife and his friends, and making bad choices and good choices. And it's like, you just got to step back and say, what can I do today that will be better for tomorrow? And not worry about next week or a week after or 2 weeks after, you know? And I mean, how old are your kids?
I don't have kids.
So having kids and seeing that growth and seeing that exponential maturity of them, good, bad, and ugly, is another wide opening. I mean, my kids were just 3, man, you know, they were just around, they were just doing baseball and basketball and whatever. And I mean, it is. I mean, I'm 48. I was just 28. It seems like 80 years ago,
right?
You know? And
I mean, I just turned 45 in January, and it's like you're looking back, and it's like, holy shit, we're almost in June already. Also, like, it feels like New Year's and stuff was literally like a month or two ago, and then it's like, well, shit, it's May and it's already 100 degrees, and summer's like
here. Yep. Yeah. Again, I mean, you're 5, I'm 2 years away from being 50, dude. Like, that's still old, right? Like, we're like, oh, that's like old people shit, man, you know? And my dad's 75, and he's like, that was old when I was your age, you know? I'm like, no, it still is, Dad. I get it.
Yeah.
But he's that age now, and again, just perspective. It's all about perspective, but it's fun. The rental business is a great time. I love what I do. I want everyone doing it. Too many people are in the business now. When I started, it was minuscule. There was 3 or 4 players. Now there's 30 or 40 players, and it sucks. It's a whore market. People buy from people. You try to keep it like that, but it's all price driven, you know. And and it's like, whatever piece of shit can go out there to make the job work, we'll try. And then they go, oh, I wish I would have spent an extra 10% and gotten your shit. Yeah, dude, I'm not just here fluffing my name or my business up or whatever, you know. I'm like,
yeah, I relate to that, man. I feel the same way about that. Like, if you really want the lowest bid and you want to roll the dice to those guys, and I get it, we're kind of in one of those economies where that's really prevalent right now.
Everywhere.
You know, even on my side of the business, you know, in the GC world, like, if you want, I mean, I'm not going to be your lowest guy. Like, I mean, I'll be very competitive, but I mean, we're going to communicate better than they will. We're going to do the job right. We're going to address everything head on, and we're not going to shy away from any of the difficult conversations, because construction, there's always fucking problems.
There's always shit.
I mean, shit happens. Like, it's how well you deal with it and how you can manage it and how you communicate it. That's the difference maker. And that we're not going to just leave you hanging. You know, Element's been around for 23 years. I've been with them for 17. We're not going to just do. Anybody wants to call and say I left them hanging, like, feel free. Like, jump up, raise your hand, because we've never left you holding the ball. Like, you know, stuff has happened, and yeah, we've had to work through some difficult situations in 17 years.
Shit sandwich.
But like, yeah, I mean, it happens. But again, it's how you deal with it, how you address it, how you communicate. Like, those are very important things. And, you know, I don't like the atmosphere of where it's just, you know, lowest bid, you know, like, I mean, like, I just had this conversation with an owner friend of mine that is on the ownership side of the multifamily world. And, you know, it's kind of interesting to hear his perspectives on things, but we kind of went back and forth a little bit, like going through the whole different scenarios on things. And I was like, you know, what's always funny to me is if you think about it, at least in my world, in the GC world, there's only so many, and it's getting fewer by the day, of good subs that every general contractor is searching for. Those of us that have been around for a while, we all use the same pool. We're all here in DFW. We all use the same pool. So at the end of the day, a lot of times that difference in price is typically going to be overhead. What's your overhead? What's mine? Are you a small mom and pop thing? Are you nationwide? Are you this and that? Like, yeah, like, and then, I mean, if the scopes are just apples to apples, you know, and does that sub like you more or me more? Is he cutting me $1? Did I negotiate with him a little better than you did? Right. But when I go to give you a bid, I'm calling at least 3 of these guys for each one of these trades and saying, give me your best number on this. Like, I know you want this job. I have a good relationship here. Like, give me what you got. And then out of those 3, who wanted it the most and who can perform the level of work that the client's expectations are set at and where we set those. All right, you know, is this a C property that we're just trying to maintain here?
Right.
Where this kind of work is acceptable
apartment
and you're going to be, an apartment. Yeah. Or is this a B that we're trying to make an A?
Right.
And you want top notch. Okay. That has a different price. But at the end of the day, if you tell me like, well, I got to get 3 bids. All right, cool. Get your 3 bids. That's fine with me. But you do realize, like, I was like, because I don't get to sit on your side of the fence. Mm-hmm. Like, do you realize, like, when you get 3 bids, you really just got 9? What do you mean? He's like, I'm like, this is how it works. And really, you probably didn't get 9 because you probably still got 3 bids because we all have the same sub base. With few exceptions. I mean, you know, there are some variables, but a lot of parts, I mean, we all use these same guys. You're really hiring me as a GC to use my connections and to manage a project that you either don't have the bandwidth for, the experience, the knowledge, and that you've got to perform for either your group, yourself, or a larger group. So really, you're bringing me in to help you on your end.
Look good.
So, yeah. So, right. Like, we're all working for the same person at the end of the day, because if you're bringing me to your client that you're servicing as a manager or owner operator, you know, you got a boss too.
Right.
So we're all trying to be on the same team here and do the best thing. So really where these conversations should be going a lot more in my mind, and where I try to take them, is what kind of communication are you getting? What kind of access do you have? Like, what are your updates? What do your reports look like? Where are you at here? Because that's a big difference for us. Like, and is when you get these scopes, like, man, nothing pisses me off more than these bullshit spreadsheet scopes that are all over the place and not detailed, man. Like, how do you walk that job at the end to verify everything's done? Mine's very specific. I mean, I'm sure you don't just send out a quote, here's generator. No, you're probably putting the model number on here. Hey, I mean, something. I mean, you're at least telling them, hey, this is how many horsepower it is, or this is its capability.
Here's your chiller size.
Here's your chiller size, something so that you at least know. And we didn't just leave off all the components and we're going to change order you because it's not listed here. I'm sure you list out, like, you need the hoses, you need the cables, you need this and that.
Right.
You got 500 feet of this because that's the nearest park we can park this thing.
Right.
You got to give them a little bit more. Whereas the guy goes, oh, yeah, I'll make that shit work. I'm going to throw this in over here.
Well, in the rental business, that's what we have a lot of too.
Yeah.
And you try not to be too, without an LOI or without a real signature, you don't give too much detail because of those guys right there. They go, I want the lowest bid. Here's his bid. And I ask every customer, who else is bidding this job? X, Y, and Z. Can I have their quotes? Yeah, here you go. 8 out of 10 times. I go, great, dude. Let me see what it is. And I'll tell you if that's stupid. If it's stupid, good luck. But I had a customer, so we're doing a big marketing blitz right now, calling customers saying, why do you use HVAC rental? What's good, bad, and ugly? And I got a guy, I'm not going to name any names or who he previously used.
Yeah.
But it might have been someone that I previously worked for. And he goes, hey, I love you guys. You know why? Because your equipment's new. Because when I turn it on, it works. If it doesn't work, I call you, and you have 5 techs that are going to make it happen. They send one guy out, and he might not know what's going on, or he might be there for 3 days, and then he's asking me for help, and then they don't pay my service bill when and that happened the other day. I was too busy. I go, just fix it. You can pay me? I go, yeah, dude. Fix your problem. I'm not worried about the money. I want you back in line because it's an apartment complex, and it's a shit show. Those people are dying in their Section 8 or whatever the bullshit, and the whole point of the whole story is it's a numbers game, but it's a numbers game that needs to make sense and put some validity into what you're doing and respect what you're saying. I'm not going to be the cheapest. I called my guy the other night. I go, hey, dude, I threw some numbers at it real quick because I wanted to cover my ass because I didn't know what I was getting into. Let me update it. I updated his quote today. I saved him about 10, 15%, and I'm fine with it, dude. Long term, he'll call me. I feel 80% sure in that statement.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about an extra $6-7 grand. It gives a shit. Again, it's not the now, it's the 1 year or the 5 year.
It's when the next problem arises.
Right. And it's gonna be bigger and better, hopefully, and more complex situation or whatever. And I mean, it's another story, and just like that one, government jobs. Dude, that's lowest shithead wins.
Yeah.
And I was buying a Jeep and I ran into a guy I worked with his cousin 12 years ago. And I was like, your name sounds familiar. He goes, you probably know him. I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, he's a piece of work. I go, oh, no shit. No, I go, I fired him after that job. He goes, I'm sure you did. And it was a government job, lowest whore. Guy couldn't fix a residential AC unit. His life depended on it. But he knew what to tell me about my chillers and whatever else. Again, I was like, I'm done, dude. We have those customers, and you have those customers. You go, this is my last job. Don't ever call me again. Call everybody else. And when they all fuck you, come back to me, and I'm charging 30% more, and you're going to love me for it and appreciate me. And that's another thing that I think I've exponentially grown. And at Fastenal, I used to go run around town for a onesie-twosie thing for a nut or a bolt for a customer and helped him. Long term, he called me for everything. But you pick your battles also and go, high number. And those are the jobs you always get, right? The ones you don't want.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, $800,000. I go, you got it. I'm like, well,
what did I miss?
Shit, yeah.
Like, what did I miss here? Because that was way too easy. That was
way too quick, dude.
And I really was trying not to do this.
Or I love it when the guy goes, oh man, you were 30% lower. I'm like, oh, did I? Oh, yeah, dude, I stutter. Let me
check this again.
But again, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot, and I love success. I love failures because the failures teach you how to be successful later. I just lost a huge data. We do load banks and boiler testings for data centers. That's a huge business right now. I just lost a huge load bank to a really a whore company. I mean, they're known for it internationally, pretty much. And I go, that's fine. I hope it works. The units they're using versus what we're using, here's the difference. Here's why we win and why I hope they win. I hope you win. But if you don't, call me and we'll figure it out. And I left it at that, not bashing. I'm just saying, I know where you're going. I know where this is going to go. But I'm wrong. I've been wrong more than I want to admit also. And it's just, the business world as a whole, it's all about name and reputation. And good, bad, and ugly. People, you can't be liked by everybody. You can try, but you can't have sleepless nights over it because you can't please everybody.
Yeah, how have you dealt with that? Because, you know, like a lot of people like feel like they got to be liked by everybody, especially in a sales role, or you don't mesh or blend with the one person that time. Like,
So two stories. My old boss from Fastenal, Thomas Lincoln, I'll never forget. He told me, you always had to feel like everyone likes you. And I was like, no, I don't. But I did. This is 25 years ago. And through rhyme, reason, and, not everybody likes me. And I've really realized that. Or I'll have competitors that are friends of mine in the business go, yeah, I'm getting all your business now because they didn't like you. Who? I'm not telling you who. I'm like, good for you, dude. You know what?
yeah,
As long as it keeps your job and helps you stay employed, it'll come back around. There's loyalty 80% of the time, 20% of the time, 30% of the time, there's not.
yeah,
It's just do your best, put your best foot forward. Your word is all only good you have, right?
yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
It sounds like you're pretty good at being authentically you.
I try to be, and it's a game. It's a card game. It's a shuffle game. It's a mind game. And then we're all selling cold air. My dad used to tell, oh yeah, my son sells cold air. That's what I did, right? I'm
Yeah,
like, Dad, that's about right, give or take. We're all selling the same refrigerant spot cooler unit or the same
yeah.
chiller that makes cold water. It's how you do it. It's
Right, because
right?
people said for years you'll never sell water in a bottle.
Right.
Right? When we were
Or
kids.
air. Hey, or air,
Yeah.
or air out of a machine. Let me sell you clean air. Just like that's the same. That's Lake Louisville right there. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, we're all getting a staph infection drinking that shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that's all you have, and that's what I try to instill in my kids. I'm like, if you say you're gonna go do something, don't fuck it off and just whatever.
It reminds me of the joke I heard a while ago about the lady that called her husband to tell her how she went to get her tires rotated and they upsold her and charged her $300 for premium air in her tires. You know, like
Same deal, dude.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Same
Same
thing,
thing.
man. I mean, there's one born every minute, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but no, I mean, I think, and I think you've seen it more than anything with all the different people and the different personalities and facets of business. And there's so much opportunity out there. Just have that God of want attitude and give a shit and do what you love. I love when I worked at the baseball card shop. I loved baseball cards. I was that kid with the briefcase. My friends make fun of me on my bicycle, like fucking, like Leave It to Beaver kind of look, and I that's where I was 24/7. I had about one or two good friends, and that was it. But that was my life. When we got robbed, he'd call me Saturday morning, and go, Nathan, come in. I had a photographic memory before bong resin, molten hops, and all the other stupid shit that I've done in my life.
Yeah.
And I'd say, oh yeah, Mickey Mantle, Maris, like all the shit that was stolen, 1968, 69, 71, and good and bad that led to a lot of other success, and I'm full of so much useless shit in my head where the useful stuff doesn't always take precedence, which sucks. Whether it's my memories of my kids or memories of my girlfriend, she gets mad at me because I forget shit. I'm like, I know. I'm like, yeah, but I can tell you about, a chiller job that I got going on or whatever, right? It's like selective memory and stuff. And ginkgo biloba and all that stuff and whatever, that doesn't work. That's all bullshit. That's all, that's all placebos. But I quit drinking. I quit smoking. I'm pretty much minus my unhealthy sugar crackhead shit that I eat. I mean, I am a sugar crackhead, terrible in Celsius.
I haven't had sugar in almost 2 months. Like you just killing me, making me think about it right now.
Dude.
Watching Brandon drink this like really great bourbon over there from Iron Root.
I'm sure it's sugary also.
You
right?
know, you got your Coca-Cola here. Not that I'm a soda person.
Sorry, dude.
But yeah.
I would have got water, man.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Soda's actually never been a thing for me. Like, but yeah, the bourbon over there, like, man, I've been eyeballing that out of the side.
Well, and
9 more days. Yeah, it's delicious.
I used to be a big Crown and Coke guy and all that shit, and I wonder why I was hungover and just stupid. And then I went to vodka and soda because that way it was I was gluten tolerant and acid reflux and all this other shit. And then I was like, what am I doing?
Getting old's fun, right?
Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. It's for the birds, and my neck and my back, and I've had shoulder surgeries and this, that, or whatever, and yeah, just be that guy. I don't mind being the DD all the time. And my friends would be like, oh, come on, let's do Fireball. I'm like, you're fucking 48, dude. I get it.
Yeah.
Let's, or they're all doing the other shit. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I never did all that other crap because I want to tell my kids not to do it when they grew up. And I was and I mean, weeds nothing. That's like the front grass. That should be legal, but we're in the Bible Belt of America, and that ain't ever happening. Just like gambling and shit,
We'll see.
We'll see. But a lot of CBD stores. But no, I mean, again, trials and tribulations of life has brought me full circle just to go. It's fun. It should be fun. You should wake up every day and go, what can I do to be better? Right.
Where does that drive and that passion stay for you though? Because it sounds like you've achieved a lot of the big goals you had set out for yourself, and now you're at a point in your life where you're just really enjoying it and maintaining it. But like, what still gives you that drive to stay there, man, and to still keep the foot on the pedal?
I mean, I said a lot, and I go through burnout stages a lot. I love what I do. I'm frustrated with where I'm at right now, but I'm so entrenched and so engulfed in my circle of where I'm at business wise and the people. I can never get out of the rental business. I mean, as much as I would quote unquote love to, it's just me.
Yeah.
Can I go do this by myself and make tenfold and more money? Probably, but why? I got a company that's nationally known. I'm a shareholder in the company. Blah 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 blah. All the ducks are. As we have set this up, it's like now I'm on cruise control, just trying to figure out how to maintain and help others grow and mentor the younger kids, my son, others, whomevers, and I got 7 years in me. I keep saying 55. I don't know. If I can work less than I am now, which would be kind of hard, and make decent money, I guess I'll get buried. I don't know, but to answer your question, it's hard. It really is hard. But then, watching that show, he gets laid off from his job, and he's like a market stock guy,
day trader,
whatever, making shit pots of money. And I'm like, if I got fired tomorrow, like, what would do that to my morale? Like, what dark spot would I go in? Would I go to the dark spot? Would I go reach for that or this or that or what?
Well, that's a tough thing to think about when like you're used to one thing and then circumstances change or people grow apart and things evolve, and it's like, how do you still find it? I mean, like that can be very challenging, and to like still feel like you have a purpose or what you thought was your purpose maybe changing slightly, or your passion, you can't be on 110 all the time, man. You're going to hit those peaks and valleys. So I'm just curious. I mean, it's definitely something that I've battled off and on throughout my career.
Human nature.
And, a lot of people struggle with that. Some people go down and don't come back up. Like they stay stuck in those ruts. So,
right.
I mean, I know you've had a lot of different roles and you've done a lot of different things. So I was just curious as to like where you really find that, like what is it still for your kids? Is it, where does it go? Cause like someone like me, I can't really relate to that.
Right.
I'm not trying to leave a legacy for my kids. I'm trying to leave a legacy for me and my wife to live the type of life we want to live.
Right.
And I'm kind of like you, man. Yeah. I like nice things. I have expensive cigar taste. I have expensive bourbon taste. I like watches. You name it, man. I can find some things, but
I agree.
yeah.
Well, and that's what drives me. I think it's toys. I have nice cars. I got a lake house. I got a house in Frisco. I get nice shit.
Yeah.
And I guess again the legacy I leave for my kids. My kids drive me and motivate me every morning. I text my kids every morning and every night. I love you. Good morning. Every day.
Yeah.
I call my daughter at 8:00 every day on FaceTime. My customers don't precede her. She's my it.
Yeah.
Right. My son's leaving in 2 months. I'm like, hey, what can we do? What can we bring people over to the house? Whatever. That's what motivates me to get up. And my girlfriend, every morning we talk and she's like, what are you doing today? I'm like, I don't know. I'll drive around aimlessly and just go do shit. Go run errands or go to job sites like today.
Yeah.
All my job sites and took pictures.
That's cool, man. I think that's really important with your kids. We're on my wife's side of the family. We just experienced a loss in the family. And, it's one of her cousin's fathers, and great man. It's going to be heavily missed.
Weird, right.
And it's real fresh and recent. And, hearing her talk about it a little bit, you know, like, and this is something I didn't know until like a few weeks ago, but like she works a job where she's up very, very early. And even her father, when he was retired, and I think he was 80 roughly and passed suddenly, he called her every morning at 4 a.m. at 80 years old. And she's a little older than me. I won't put her on blast in case any of y'all know her. She'll fucking kill me or drug me with her needles and make me think I lost a kidney or something. Her favorite threat. Yeah. But, you know, I just, you know, that really stuck with me and stung, like, you know, like, man, damn, like, how do you fill that void? You know, like, you know, hard. You're used every day. I mean, that's going to be one of those milestones, because I know I lost my father when I was 24. I went through some really rough times for a while there, man. Like, me and my dad were really, really close. And, you know, you question all the little things, you know, the dad calling you to, hey, have a beer. And I'm like, I'm going to go meet this chick, or I'm going to go run around with the boys. And I'm just out fucking off doing whatever,
making bad choices,
you know, that every 24-year-old does. Yeah. But like, that's the shit that eats you up for a while, you know? So like, I think it's important to keep that in perspective, because, you know, like you've said a lot, like tomorrow's not promised, you know, like shit happens. It is life. One thing we all do is we do all die, you know, and you don't know when that time's coming. So
you don't know when the clock stops. And I really want to tell my kids that, you know, through the ugliness and the shit that's gone and happened in the past, let's look at the future. Let's see what's going on. Let's make the most of it and be appreciative. And, you know, and we're all dealt a hand that it's good, bad, or ugly, and it's how you deal with it. And my kids have had the silver spoon since day one, and too much. And I wish, but we've allowed it, right? We've given them the iPads and the web, whatever, right? And there's been no real struggle, you know. But my son works at Jersey Mike's over there, you know, he did. He's looking for a new job now, but
so he's the one that keeps messing up my damn sandwich.
Yes. Too much mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's somebody else. Never mind. But no, you know, I mean, he was slinging sandwiches. I worked at Subway for one day, and I handed off the sandwich baton to him, and he worked at Jersey Mike's for a year and a half. So good for him. That Subway story is pretty classic too. But you know, and he loved it. He loved earning a buck. He loved his own money, and that's show appreciation for what you have, and be grateful. And you know, it can be taken away like that. And I'm like, that truck that you have, son, that's, you know, whatever. So I think we all kind of forget again, and hopefully the parents listening to this go, hey, I hope my kids do appreciate it, you know, and I humble them all the time. I would like, ever since they were small, I would like, you know, and just go, hey, stop, quit being a shithead, quit being that kid, you know. But no, I mean, I think they'll do great things. I want them to do great things. Mom and I will be there supporting them to the thick and thin, you know, and do what's needed, as will my girlfriend and her girls and anybody else that's in our circle. That's all I want. I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to have fun, go take cool trips, go do cool shit. There's so much out there, you know, and we stay in our bubble and we stay to the grind. And it's like, I mean, I have 1.4 million points of Marriott. I have 400,000 of Southwest. You know what? I fly a lot. I see cool shit. We have companies all over. I've got to meet great people and shake some hands. Yeah. And that's what it's about. It's about seeing what's out there, and just making the focus. You know, I was talking to him about this business and how it's going, and he's like, well, it's good, and we self-funded, and which is great. I love to hear the self-funding. We're not in debt to up our ass, and my company, we're debt free, and we're debt free because of the people that are all friends and partners, and that's the customers and the owners and everybody else. That's huge. And someone of his age, and that's great news, you know. And being debt free that's hard to say. I mean, the average person's in debt for shit pots of money, and you know,
absolutely.
I mean, the numbers are asinine.
That keeping up with the Joneses game, man, can be deadly, man. When you've always got to have the newest, coolest, biggest, baddest toy, and you get leverage to the max, man. Like, whew, I feel sorry for some of those individuals, because when shit does go south, man, that's a reality check that like a lot of people can't really handle, and that changes the game for some people.
There's no digging out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I mean, arrogance and egos and stuff like that, man, that can be the death of you real fast, man, if you don't have a good grasp on that. And I mean, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like I'm already sure, like I'm sitting here thinking about this, like, what have you done to really find the faith to stay with things, and to also be humble at the same time, because you've gone through these things, and like you said, you like nice things and you work hard, but you do other things. I know somebody, like, if you pop in here just on a quick things, like, you could come off as very arrogant, and like, I'm like, but I don't see it that way. You know, I see it as you're very driven and you're like laser focused, and you've got this drive. So like it's not coming from that place.
No.
So, but a lot of people struggle with those things, especially people that are new to money. Like, you know, I was just listening to another friend of mine when I was making some introductions with some different people the other day in a meeting, and he was talking about how, you know, at 18, you know, I became a professional golfer. I made a lot of money, and I started running around with different circles and stuff like that. And to me, I thought that was like, you know, fuck, I'm making really good money. And then I got around these other guys and like, man, that ain't shit.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see real money? Come mentor with me. Come see what I'm doing. And now he's running big investment portfolios and doing amazing things, but he found those mentors along the way. But he had to be humbled a little bit along the way. So how have you found that way, and how did that come into play for you?
Well, again, circling myself with the right people. I got a buddy that owns an electrical company that's very well off. And that was through his hard work and perseverance and dedication and focus. And he's a likable dude. Right?
Yeah.
Just be a likable guy. You know, he doesn't like everybody. He
Yeah.
doesn't talk about it. I'm a little more black and white about stuff. And I'm like,
Right.
that dude's a douchebag, you know, and not saying that I'm not a douchebag, or I've done stupid shit, you know, but I think it's really just paying it forward, being, you know, it's a right to not be flashy, but show what you got and give it back.
Yeah,
you know?
confidence is different too. Like,
Right.
you know.
And you know, New Hope. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's down in Argyle area.
Yeah.
They give back to special needs and military. My daughter was doing that it's a horse therapy session.
Yep.
You know what? I saw their Christmas list on Facebook last year, and I go, fuck it. And I bought all of it. It's like $1,000, $1,500. I go, you know what? Pay it forward. And it was the most meaningful thing to them and to myself. I loved it. You know, and other organizations and special needs. My daughter loves special needs children and adults. She wants to be a special needs teacher. I'm like, you ain't gonna make shit. You better find either your parents living in their house or a good husband. But she's got the heart of gold, you know, and she's been through some trials and tribulations, but she's laser focused in that right now at 16,
That's
about to be
awesome.
16. And it's
Yeah.
awesome. I don't have the patience for that. I barely the patience for my own shit. We're all in the special needs realm of a lot of stuff. I mean, each
Right.
of us, right? We have our ticks and our quirks, but and again, all you want to do is have two good humans that you bring up, and that's all. You know, my son wants to go in engineering. She wants to do special needs. Great, whatever. Don't give a shit. Just be good people. Don't get pregnant. Don't knock anybody up, and focus on your careers and just
Set yourself up.
set yourself up. Do the storybook as best as you can, you know, and you know, some people have Texas weddings. We know what those are. Kids first, and then the wedding, you know, good for you. That's your choice or whatever. And that's, you know, thank God through all my trials and tribulations, that didn't happen. Thank God. But, you know, I dated, I got married, I had kids, I got divorced. Page 7, page 9, you know, it's all in the same book. It's called the 50-50 book. We all live it. We're all in it, you know, and again, what happened in the past is the past. And people like to dwell on that and really sit on that and really harp on that. Thankfully, my memory doesn't allow a lot of that for me, thankfully, and apart. But the next, it's like, what's tomorrow? What trips can we do? What customers can I help? Where can I get someone out of the grind, or, you know, and, you know, the ice ring I was telling you about. I love the ice rinks. It's not a profitable business, but it's a fun business. I love the kids skating. I love the smiles. My buddy, his name is Pierre Piani. He used to skate for the International, and then he worked for the Stars for a while. And then he started his own ice rink business. And him and I were like family. I know his 3 kids that he adopted. That's a whole story in itself. That's absolutely phenomenal and sickening of where they came from and what he brought them to and took care of them. But again, doing good for others.
Yeah.
You know, and it's people like that that really make me appreciate and thrive and grow and make me want to get up every morning and do something for somebody or something or whatever else, you know?
Absolutely. How did you, this is a big thing we talk about on the show a lot because it comes up all the time and I get asked this question a lot. And I think each individual has their own way of doing it, but you throw out the word, find good mentors or get the right circle, you know. How did you go about developing the relationships with the mentors that you have that have turned into those key mentors for you? And how do you try to go about giving back in that same way?
Well, like I said, my boss, Steve Howell, was one of them I met 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And there was just common ground. When I said jump, he'd fly from Philadelphia and come work with me and help me go find the job or close the situation. Because he saw the drive, he saw the Gadawan in me. And I look for that in kids. We have a couple kids that work for us, and I call them kids because they're half my age or 2/3 my age.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, dude, my phone's always on. I answer my phone 24/7. I had a customer just call me and go, dude, it didn't even ring. I go, because I was trying to get a hold of you also. But I was like, yeah, I'm always on my phone.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm always texting, I'm always emailing, I'm always phone calls. It's just trying to find a work balance that is key. And I didn't find that at an early age, and I'm finding it later on. And it's teaching that to a buddy of mine's got 4 kids. His business it's not great. It's good. I'm like, dude, you got to figure out where the balance is, man. I go, kids are first, family's always first, but you need to go drive your business, dude, because that driving of the business is going to help you with your kids to do bigger and better things. Maybe it's to get a nanny so you can have an extra 4 hours a day to work on your wife and your business or whatever, right? Whatever the X, Y, or Z is, however the building blocks fit. And that's where I've figured out that the choice I have led me to go do other things and take my kids and get them away from the hustle and bustle and bullshit of Frisco or hustle and bustle of school or work or whatever. Or go take a trip, you know, or go do Cabo or do cool shit that my parents couldn't afford, didn't have the time or could afford, you know. And my dad's like, you know, to be you. I go, stop. There's a little more than just what's on the outer side, and there's a lot up here, and you know, it's a lot of balance, and it's a lot of come to Jesus, as I call it, time of going, all right, what's next? What you know, what's the next step, or what can I do to help, and what can I do to I keep saying it, but just to be better, you know, and just make someone else better. And you know, I look forward to after this going, hey man, what can I do to help you out for whatever? I don't give a shit, dude. Hey, hey, got some more people like you, or you got other people that you know, or whatever. My phone, I have 7,500 contacts in my phone. I probably talk to 10% of those, 15%, but I know that I'm going to run into someone like yourself 12 years later, and your number's going to pop up, and I already got all your contact info. You know, and someone calls, they go, hey, what's up, John Bradley? They go, how'd you know that? I go, I saved your number. Oh, I'm that important? You are.
Yeah.
That's where the drive is and where the motivation is.
Yeah, I think that's important too. I have to do that because, like, you would think someone that's in sales would be much better at remembering people's names, but man, I am terrible at that.
I'm shitty at that.
I have to like give people a nickname or something that associates it with them. And man, once I put somebody in my phone, I put notes in there or whatnot, or whatever nickname I gave them in my head, I put that in on their phone things so that I can see it. And when it pops up, like, so you get that, you know, oh, this is Sam so-and-so calling me. You're the owner of this property. Like, all right, cool. Got it. Like, I have to do those associations. Otherwise, I mean, when you work for a major business or you have a big business and you have multitude of clients and people are changing all the time, you know, for me, it's, you know, properties get bought and sold, management companies come and
All
go,
the time.
and, you know, different people get fired and hired and promoted, and they're moving around. It's a lot to keep up with.
Right. You know, and I get calls all the time. And it's like, hey, Nathan, what's going on? I'm like, what's up, man? I'll get on the phone. I'll tell whoever. I'm like, I have no idea who that was. I'm like, hey, send me an email. Oh, you don't have it here. I'm like, oh, no shit. Or a guy just called me the other day. Huge project coming up. He's like, oh, yeah, I was at so-and-so company. I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. And I call another guy, I go, hey, where the fuck was this dude at? He's like, oh, he was at, I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, and
Yeah.
putting on the face and sounding like you know is half the battle also, and not being like, who are you, schmucko, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm real good with faces. Like, I can go,
Same.
I know you're, I'm like, you know, and here's another great, I mean, I got stories, so cows come home. We were at Seaside over spring break, and I just played a golf tournament with my girlfriend's brother-in-law up in at Oak Point over McKinney,
Okay.
Oak Hollow. We played Oak Hollow, and the golf pro was like, so we walk by each other. He's at the beach. I go sit by him. There's no one on the beach. I was being a smart ass. I go, hey, can I sit here right next to him? And there's no one's in the beach. And we're just shooting the shit. And then I leave. 4 hours later, we're walking to the beach because a fireworks show or something or other. And he's like, took me 4 hours, but you're Nathan, aren't you? And usually that's me. And I was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I'm the golf pro at Oak Hollow. I just played with Bob. I'm like, yeah, dude. So I got his name and number. My birthday was a month ago. I go, hey, me and my buddies want to play. He goes, hey, golf's on me and $20 discount for your buddies. Again, just random network. And, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
it's so crazy. And I can go anywhere and find somebody. And it pisses my kids off. Of course, Dad knows somebody. Of course, you know, or whatever. And in Cabo or in Canada or wherever I'm at, Boston, wherever. So again, you know, it's about having fun. It's about just,
Well, it's about making connections and true connections and really trying to get to know people, you know.
ask questions.
Yeah.
You know, it's always, what do you do? Family. Oh, okay. You're married. Cool. What's your wife do? You know, and caring, right? Caring. And trying to remember tidbits of it, which is hard. We see so many people. I have 130 jobs right now. Think I remember every job? Fuck no, dude.
Yeah, it's tough. Like,
Yeah.
you know, as your business grows, to still provide that same level of care and handling of their job as you get bigger and bigger. That's one of the biggest challenges. So you got to pass that on down as you grow with the different people below you. And that's what I tell my guys all the time, you know, like that porter or that maintenance guy, he's going to be a maintenance director one day. That leasing agent's going to be a VP, you know, like this all
never know.
continues to go uphill and you never know. So you can't treat them like he's just the porter and like it doesn't matter and be rude to that guy while you're out walking the property, because that will bite you in the ass. You leave a bad impression, that shit's going to stick.
6 times.
And good luck getting past that. You know?
And I learned that in the radio business. I worked for KZPS. I worked for The Edge. And that was the biggest thing I could take away from all of that. And that was fun. I met great people. I got to hang out with great.
I'm surprised we didn't cross paths back then, because I know so many people that were there in that same
circle
time frame as you, like Sam and Chaz and Chloe and I can go on and on. But yeah,
Red Jacket. I was Red Jacket every Sunday night. I go work for The Edge, or I work Let's Your Lounge with DJ Merritt and his soon-to-be wife. His wife was a bartender there. We sang out. I mean, I saw Moby. I saw so many cool stories.
Yeah.
Getting high, get my finger stuck in the door at a club one night because I couldn't function. And I drove the company car, you know, all kinds of cool, stupid shit. But, so I would work KZPS in the morning and I worked The Edge at night. When you're dealing with a bunch of people now our age, right? This was 30 years ago. And you got to be respectful. You got to, you know, they're all potheads and alcoholics or whatever. You don't know their story, but they're older, more mature. And be like, oh, yes, sir, whatever. And then you go to The Edge and you're like, oh, what's up, dude? You know, and high-fiving and let's go smoke a ball. Let's go whatever, you know, and turning it on and turning it off. And that's really what I think formed who I am today, was realizing that everybody's important. And when I go to a job site walk and I meet, like you said, the porter, I'm like, how was your day? When they're cleaning up the bathroom, I'm like, hey, thank you. Here's $5. Thank you. I'm not trying to be an asshole or an arrogant fuck. I'm just going, hey, dude, I realize that you're important and you have a family. We have a busboy that hangs out at our office and cleans our office. His name's Candy. I give the guy hugs, high five him, I scream his name when I see him. I'm never in the office, but when I am, I make him feel like he's the most important guy in the whole office. And you know what? I'm the only one that does that probably. And you know what? It's cool because we're not better than anybody else. I don't give a shit who you are. There's no pedestal that we're on. We all put our pants on the same way. You know, some are tighter than others because they're fat or skinny or whatever. That's fine, right? But we're all here for one purpose. And being Jewish, I'm Jewish, and I'm proud of being Jewish, you know, for Spaceballs. But I'm proud of my heritage, and it's lost, you know. And my kids are half, and they weren't bar mitzvahed, I was, and I got ragged and razzed. There were a couple kids at swastika in my house. I had FBI and DA at my house in fourth grade, or fuck was that, my sophomore year of high school, freshman year. Hatred. And you know what? I saw those guys on Facebook years later. I go, what the fuck? And they go, oh, I found Jesus, and I'm in. Fuck you, dude. You know, I'm like,
yeah,
you're still an asshole. You're still a piece of shit. And I hope it haunts you. And I hope full karma, full circle comes to bite you in the ass. You know what? Because I still think about that, and it still drives me. That's what drove. I think if anything, more than anything, that drove me to be successful and to have the power and the motivation to do well for others and to help others was because of what occurred back in the day that I couldn't control. I had no power. I think as I'm talking, I think I was very powerless and I was very sheltered. I didn't do anything. I didn't socialize. I didn't sports. I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. And my son's got some of that, sadly, with anxiety and some other shit, and not being out and not being that kid, because I was him, you know. Yeah. And I see it. I'm like, hey, dude, let's go. And I'm good. You know, I'm good. And I think in the larger picture, I think, and you don't have kids, so you haven't seen the X, Y, or Z of the maturity or lack thereof. But even you mature with your wife. I mean, you talk, she killed me tomorrow with a needle. Okay, great. So what are you going to do not to let that happen, right? And have fun and be successful and live a good life. And again, it's like, what makes them happy? What makes you happy? What makes her, you know? And I love meeting new people. I love hearing about new experiences. I love about what can I do to help you, you know, whether it's my time or financially, what can we do to be, you know, to work hand in hand and do something for somebody. Yeah. And again, the special needs is real close to my heart. I have a lot of friends that have kids, or I've just been around them. I did the Easter Seals program in high school, gave them back there, and just, you know, again, I was dealt a hand. I mean, I had a nightmare before I had my kids. That was having special needs kids. And I was like, God's gonna be like, hey, dude, he's been there, he can deal. And I've said this numerous times. And again, we're all on the spectrum, and my kids, everyone, and we're all on the spectrum, but not to that level. And I'm grateful for that. And I think I appreciate that more than, you know, maybe others say or do. And
yeah, everybody has their challenges. Everybody's got different things to deal with. Yeah, for sure.
But again, I mean, you know, back to your original question, what drives and motivates me? I think it's just what's coming at us next. What's going to be the next challenge? What's going to be, you know, and I love being around people. I can't be by myself. My ex-wife and I used to take trips, and I always had to find somebody to be with us or hang out with us, which used to piss her off. And my girlfriend's not like that. I guess it's personality wise also. Yeah. But also I still want people. I want a group because I like to be funny. I like them to be funny. I like to watch them get shit faced and what stupid shit are they going to do, or what experiences have they done that we can go do with them, or, you know, I mean, it's all about experiences.
I get it, man. I can relate to that. Like, COVID drove me nuts, and I'm sure you as well with the rental business. You were considered an essential worker,
Thank God. So
you were still out there. But man, like, telling me I had to stay home and I could only do these things, man, like that shit. Fuck you. I mean, like, it about completely fucked my world up. Yeah. Because like I can't do that. I can't be that guy that just sits at home and doesn't do shit and is not out and about, that isn't active. Smoke
a bowl and just watch Netflix.
I can't be that guy, man. Like, you can only drown yourself out so much.
Stupid shit, yeah.
Doing stupid shit.
Thankfully, I wasn't essential. When I have a house at Cedar Creek, and I was redoing that just to keep myself occupied. But I was essential, so I was driving around. Guess what? I was the first one to get COVID in my family. my dad said, surprise, surprise. He was
Yeah.
like, I knew you were going to fucking stay home and do nothing. And, you know, and I'm like, no, there's too much out there. And
Yeah.
I flew to Atlanta with 3 other people on an airplane. I stayed in a hotel with 4 other people and 17, you know, it was awesome. It was like, this is my oyster, man. I go, this is badass. Was it safe? Probably not, but it was fun. So great memories, great experiences. I saw cool shit again, you know, and I flew for $18. I flew for $20 across the U.S. Good stories.
Yeah.
Never happen again. It'll never happen in our lifetime.
Right.
I did it, you know, and you did it, and we did it, and whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's fun to see just everything, and that's 5 years ago. I mean, that was literally over 5 years ago, man.
I know.
Just
we
like-
were in Vegas when it happened. That was wild.
Did you get stuck and had to drive home?
No, we didn't get stuck, but we were literally in Vegas celebrating one of my friend's wife's 40th birthdays. And like right as it was happening, like the second night we were there was when the Mavs were playing and the NBA shut down. And you started all of a sudden all the reports started coming in and everything. So like we got lucky and got back, but like when we got back, that's where I'm like pretty convinced like we were one of the first people to have COVID in our area, because man, that was the sickest I've ever been in my life. Like I legit thought I was gonna die for 5 days. Like it was.
Do you have sweating profusely? I was
Yeah.
sleeping 8-hour days.
Coming out every end.
Yeah.
I slept on the bathroom floor or the couch that was 10 feet away for 5 days. And it took me about 2 weeks to get over it, man. My wife, she thought she had strep throat. I mean, like everybody had different symptoms stuff. I mean, you couldn't even test for it then.
There was no consistency.
So there was
either.
there was no rhyme or reason, but man, yeah, I was literally like praying, like, I do not want to die like Elvis on the toilet. Like, please do not let me
Eating
die. in the
banana peanut
bathroom.
butter sandwich.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
back then I couldn't even eat anything. Like
Yeah.
my poor wife had to go to the store and try to get me like Gatorade and Pedialyte and stuff just to try to keep it down, because she was the less sick of the
Right.
two of
Paper,
us.
rock, scissors. Almost.
Yeah, it was terrible experience.
No, I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. It was bad, man. It was in and out, and customers calling, going, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm sleeping." I'm like, "I can't stay awake. I'm trying. I got COVID," and yeah, that 5 days was the worst.
Yeah.
And to get it again, but it was like a cold the second time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Each time it got lesser, but yeah.
Still, yeah. I mean, I had a couple of buddies that almost died. I had a couple of customers that passed away.
Yeah.
A couple from DSI, a couple from Dynatin, people that I'm sure you know or heard of.
Yeah.
And my buddy's mom, the underlying disease situation,
Right.
passed away from it, and no, I mean, it's crazy to think that was one of our times of life, and hopefully no one ever has to go through that.
Yeah,
shit.
hopefully don't have anything even remotely like that ever again. That would be great.
But
So what's next for you, man? Like what are you shooting for now coming up the rest of this year in 2026? Like where do you plan to take things? Like what's on the horizon for you?
yeah, so like I said, it's my son graduating next week, which is huge, and him going off to college and finding himself and him, and my daughter getting through sophomore year and getting through the summer and doing stuff, and me taking trips. I'm going to Colorado. Going to Spain in September, which I'm excited about.
Where are
for
you
10
going to
days.
Spain?
We're going to Madrid.
I love Madrid.
I've never been out of the country, literally out of the country. So
You're in for a treat, my man. If I could have my exact same job, maintain the same lifestyle I have right now, I would. If it wasn't for my niece and nephew, I would move to Spain right now. Like, but I actually liked Barcelona better than Madrid. Me and my wife fight about this all the time. We're actually trying to plan a trip to go back again sometime very, very soon. But yeah, Barcelona and Madrid were awesome, man. Make sure you go see Sagrada de Familia while you're there.
yes,
Dude,
Yeah.
it'll amaze you, especially since you kind of have the construction background in
Yeah.
mind. Like, we can break a piece of granite and we can't match it, but yet they can continue adding on to this stone and marble and all this shit, and it exactly matches like over 150 years
Right.
or whatever they've been
Right.
building this thing. It's mind blowing, the craftsmanship and what these guys are able to do. I mean,
It's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, you'll have a good time.
I'm looking. I've never been. So yeah, her aunt and uncles live out there.
Good thing you don't drink, or I would warn you about the sangria.
Yeah.
Sangria will absolutely fuck you up because it's way stronger and way better over there.
Yeah.
And you just sit down and you drink a whole pitcher and you're having tapas, and then you decide you want to go try the next place out.
Nope.
And then walk in there, you realize I'm fucking shithouse. Like, uh-oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, great time, man. You will highly enjoy that.
Looking forward to it, dude. So yeah, that's my big plans for the year, and finish strong and see what 2026 looks like. But I'm just focused on the next 6 months of this year and having a good summer and hanging with kids and family. So
right on, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Well, we got two. I appreciate you stepping up and doing this tonight, man. It's been a blast sitting here getting to know you better. So we end this with two things every time. The first one I like to ask you is, if you got to leave your kids with one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Just be open-minded. Don't judge.
And that was the fun one, and I'm really excited to see where you go with this. This is my favorite part of the show, where, because it's called Common Sense, we like to call this the 2 cent segment. So if there's something I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about tonight, or maybe something we didn't go deep enough on, or maybe just whatever the hell's on your mind or whatever, this is your chance. This is just you, whatever you want to put out to the universe and the big wide web. This is just you, Nathan's 2 cents.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm so appreciative of people like you that give me the opportunity to do something like this. This is cool. None of my friends have ever done this. Nobody.
Oh, right on, man.
You know, my comedy, no one would ever do that.
Yeah.
I think I've been very, very lucky with what I've surrounded myself with to have opportunities like this. This is cool shit. No one in my family's ever done anything like this. No one wants to put their face on a stage.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I have the attitude and the personality just to say fuck it and be me.
Yeah, I'm grateful you did too. And like for people that need to know this, I think it's important to share that. Like, have you felt like you're live on a podcast this entire time? I mean, we've been talking for almost 2 hours now.
No, that's what's crazy. I mean, I think you and I obviously have a lot of commonality,
right?
Which helps.
But we didn't know each other real well.
Not at all.
Walking into this, like, we met once, maybe twice, like
Right.
12 years ago.
Right.
We were still friends on Facebook. And you guys, this is an opportunity that does come up, and you want to do something, let's try it out. As long as you got a story and like this vibes with what we're doing here and talking about, man, I'm cool. Like, I put it out there. I posted you guys because I was kind of in a bind. I didn't have a guest. We'd already made arrangements to have Brandon covering for Biz. I didn't want to leave him hanging after he already blocked this off. So it wasn't like just scrap the show. Hell, at the one point I was like, well, it might just be me and Brandon here talking about times we've pooped ourselves or whatever. God knows that we haven't talked about before. But
that's 3 hours, and you're like, no, I got to find somebody to fill in instead.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I put it out there, and like, you were literally like the first person to, you know, not just making a joke on there or whatever, that like, hey man, I'm always down to talk about these things. And you popped on there, and I was like, all right, cool. Clicked on your profile. I was like, man, I was trying to put the pieces together. Like, where the hell do we know each other from? Is it the bourbon clubs? Is it cigars? Is it work? Like,
Right.
you know, we started putting it together, and we just started talking, and sure enough, here you are sitting here doing this. So, I mean, you guys want to promote stuff. You got stuff you're passionate about. You want to talk about. You got life lessons you can share with others. I'm all for supporting it. So, you know, step out of your comfort zone every now and then. It's always funny. We kind of talked about this earlier. The people that are worried about what they're going to say or how they're going to come across, or can I talk for that long, or I don't like putting myself at the center of things, or I don't want it to be about me. These are always the longest episodes. And I'm sure Brandon could even attest to this with his stuff. Like, the people that, like, once you get in that room and you get a little relaxed and you're here, it ends up being a whole different experience for you.
Totally.
So thank you, man. I appreciate you
you
stepping out, man, like, and coming out here to do this.
Brother.
I look forward to hanging out with you some more,
Well,
man.
definitely.
So you guys, we're going to be back next week at the regular time. I have another exciting multifamily guest for you guys next week. He's got a really cool story. And if you're in multifamily and don't know John Brandis, you're in for a treat because he's got a really great story. John's one of a vendor supplier partner of ours. He's very involved in the associations. And I know we're going to have to talk about this, so let's go ahead and tell you too, for those of you that don't know, he is a Super Bowl winning tight end for the Redskins. So it's not as bad as having an Eagles player in here or maybe a Giants player, you know, but it's going to be a good time. So hopefully I'm sure he'll have his Super Bowl ring, and we're going to talk about all that. But I mean, John is truly a great guy. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that show. So I hope you guys will join us again next week. And thank you again for all your support. Love you guys. Peace.